Hey guys! Okay, so I want to know in the comment section down below, how long was your labor? Like, it's crazy how fast some people deliver and then like how long some people deliver. And unfortunately for me, I was on the long side. Like, okay, this is what happened. So I was due on the 28th, which was a Thursday. I had an appointment on the 27th, right? Which was a Wednesday. So when I went into my appointment, on that Wednesday, the doctor, like they checked to see if you're dilated. So she checked and she was like, well, you're only 1 centimeter, but since I'm like basically sticking my hand up there, like it can jumpstart labor sometimes, like your water can break because you're just 1 day away from your due date. And so I was like, all right, like that's perfect because I wanted to be done. Like I was so over being pregnant. Like I really think after like 7 months, you're like, okay, like I'm done. Like my feet are swollen. I'm heavy as hell. Like I'm tired. I'm waddling. I just want to be done. So I was like, all right, perfect. Like so that Wednesday again, like I went for my checkup, whatever. And I think it was probably about like noon. Around like noon was when my appointment was. So and then but she did tell me like sometimes your water can break. Sometimes you can just like have a little leak because it's gonna be getting jump started. But if you feel like you're having contractions or anything, then of course definitely come in. So I'm like, all right, like sounds good. So I went home, and at about like 4:30, 5 o'clock, I felt like a little gush, and I was like, haven't had that before, but no pain or anything. And she did say, like leakage was normal, so I was like, okay, like it's fine, whatever. I went to bed around like 11 o'clock that night. I felt like a little, like another gush, and I was like, what the hell, like, but still no pain. So I'm like, okay, like I don't know what kind of leakage because she didn't verify. Like, should it be just like gushes? Should it be a consistent leak? Like, what kind of leak am I looking for? So I'm like, okay, whatever. So then I went to bed. I woke up Thursday morning at like 8 o'clock and I felt it again. And I was like, okay, there's got to be something going on. So I called the doctor. I'm like, hey, like, I've had like 3 gushes of water come out, but nothing consistent. Like, they're not large gushes, but you could definitely feel it. Like, I had to change my underwear because it was wet. And then I'm like, but no pain. Like I could feel my stomach tightening, but that was normal because like when I could feel her moving, she would like my stomach would feel tight. So I was like, that's all I'm feeling, like nothing out of the ordinary. So they're like, okay, wait till you start having contractions, like, and then come in. So like later Thursday evening around like 3:30 or 4, I felt the gush again, and I was like, no, like this is not normal. Like I'm going into the doctor. So I went into the doctor and I'm like, hey, like I'm having this gush, or I went to the hospital, sorry, like to the labor and delivery. So I'm like, I'm feeling this gush, but like I'm not having any contractions, so I don't know. So they're like, all right, like we're gonna check you out. So they put like that little belt around me, like around my stomach, to like monitor the baby's heart rate and like they can see if you're having contractions and stuff. And so the girl looked at me and she's like, you don't feel that? And so I'm like, no. And she's like, you're having contractions. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm like, I've probably been having them since Wednesday and I had no idea. And she's like, yeah, like your body's been in labor for almost 24 hours now. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I had no idea. So then I felt like super guilty because I was like, like dang, like I was in labor all this time. I had no idea. Like I hope the baby's okay because I wasn't feeling anything. And so I didn't know. I was like, okay, so I'm like, this is my first child, obviously. So I'm like, I don't know, I'm like, so do I go home until I feel the contractions? And she's like, no, like you're staying here, like you're in labor. And I'm like, I felt like a dumbass. I'm like, did I really just ask while I was going home and I'm in labor? Like that was stupid. But I just knew from TV that like if you're feeling the contractions, that's when you stay, or they have to be like like so close to each other. So anyway, so they kept me like Thursday, and they're like, if you don't start feeling your contractions, we're gonna have to give you pitocin to like basically jumpstart the labor and make it like more intense, kind of. I'm like, okay. So they monitored me all Thursday, and then Friday morning around like 7, when like shift change, when the new nurse came on, they're like, hey, like, are you feeling anything? And I'm like, no, like nothing. They're like, cause we've been monitoring, like you've been having contractions all night. And I'm like, crap. So then they gave me pitocin. Let me tell you guys, pitocin is serious. Like my contractions kicked in like immediately. Like it was like I can't even explain it. Like I can't even talk about it. Though that pain, I have never felt that kind of pain before. Like those contractions were terrible. It was like if I ate like 3 Taco Bell volcano burritos and they were erupting in my fucking stomach. Like it was bad. And so I'm like, okay, like maybe the baby's gonna be coming, So then around like 11, maybe, I'm like, I'm in pain. Like I am in pain. So they're like, do you want the epidural? And I was like, yes, I do want the epidural. But I thought that I had to be so far dilated before you can get the epidural. No, you can get it anytime. And I was like, damn, I wish you guys would have told me this like 4 hours ago, because I would have definitely signed up for it 4 hours ago. So they came in, like they did the epidural, which by the way does not fucking hurt because you're in so much pain you don't even feel that needle going to your back. So, and then even after they gave me the epidural, like they give you like this little like buzzer. It's kind of like, because the epidural's a drip, like an IV drip, so they give you like this button that you can push to give like an extra boost of it, like if you're in so much pain, which I was. So even after getting the epidural, like I was still in excruciating pain. So I'm like pushing the shit out of that button, like push, 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 and they're like, breathe. Like the button only works every 7 minutes, I think, 7 or 8 minutes. And so I was like, fuck, like I'm still in pain. And so it's still Friday at this point. So then around like 1:30 or 2, I started to have like feeling like I had to poop. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like she's got to be coming. Like I feel all this pressure. Like she's got to like be ready to come out. So they checked and they're like, you're only 4 centimeters dilated. From Wednesday to Friday, all of this pain and stuff, and I'm still only 4 centimeters dilated. And I think it needs to be 10 to push. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like what am I going to do? Like I cannot wait another 6 centimeters. Like I cannot. So then it got scary because my daughter started having decelerations, which is like when the baby's heart rate starts to drop. So her heart rate was dropping, my oxygen was dropping, like my body was just like in distress because I had been in labor at this point for like 48 hours almost, like because it started Wednesday at like what, like 12 or what, or Wednesday after my 12 o'clock appointment. By the time it's Friday at 2 already. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, like her heart rate's dropping, and like they put me on freaking oxygen. I was on that mask, and then they're like rotating me, like turn to your right, turn to your left, turn to your right, turn to your left. And every time they would turn me to my left side, my daughter's heart rate would drop. So I'm like stuck on my right side, and still gushing out, like still no like actual water break, but I still have water gushing out. So finally the doctor comes in around like 3 o'clock, and she sticks her hand like up my hoo-ha, and she's like, your water's not even fully broken. I'm like, great, that's lovely. So she broke the bag completely. Actually, I think she broke the bag first, and then that was when they told me that I was like 4 centimeters dilated. So then I'm like, okay, so we're waiting, and then an hour passes. I get to 5 centimeters, but my daughter's heart rate is still dropping. So at that point, they're like, we're gonna have to give you a C-section. The doctor did tell me, she's like, you can wait a little bit because normally once you get to 5 or 6, I think she said 5 because I was at 5. She's like, normally once you get to 5, like you'll dilate quicker, but with her heart rate dropping, we don't know if we're gonna have to do an emergency C-section or not. And by this point, I'm like over it. I'm like, you know what? I've been going through this since Wednesday evening with my body. Like, just give me the C-section. Like, like I don't want her in distress. I don't want to be in distress. I'm exhausted. Like, just give me the C-section. So they bring in the doctors, they like, give me the paperwork, I sign it, we gear up, we go into the operation room, they give me the C-section, and then boom, she's there. Like C-section, literally, it's crazy because like I don't know what they use to numb you, but like you're still up. It's not like a normal surgery where they knock you out first, obviously, because you have a baby inside you. So they just like numb you up, like you can't feel anything. You're just laying there, you're just like, okay, like, alright, what's happening? And then all of a sudden, above the curtain, they like hold up this little baby, and they're like, here's your baby, like baby's blah blah blah, 5 pounds, whatever, it's a girl, it's a boy, I had a girl. So then luckily she came out, she was healthy, she was 6 pounds, 10.5 ounces, crying, and then they take the baby over, clean her up, and they bring her to you, they lay her on your chest, and then they stitch you back up, and that's that. And so like that was my labor story. So tell me in the comment section down below. I think total it was like a little bit over 48 hours because it started on Wednesday evening, and then my daughter came on Friday evening, which was the day after my due date. She came on that Friday at like 5:01 p.m. So my labor was super long. Tell me how long yours was, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.